So guys, in today's video we wanted to go over the newest live stream from the First Descendant. First, they show us here the roadmap, what is coming in May, on June, and in July. This is all part of Season 3, Episode 4. The new character Raven and Season 4 will be dropping in August. But in today's video we are going to focus on what is coming this Thursday for the May update. First, they show us Ultimate Esiemo. We are gonna get this new Ultimate Descendant this coming Thursday. Probably you're seeing in the background a trailer playing right now where they show us a really cool skin he has already with this bulky, I think they even said it was bigger than Ajax armor. They mentioned that you can get some of his parts, I don't know if all of them, but some of them through his specific story quest. So we are not really progressing in the general story of the game, but through his personal story quest, we can get some of his parts.
I mean, I kind of watched it quickly, but I didn't hear them if they said specifically where you would get his parts, where you're going to be grinding for him, but they did recommend that you should do the story quest for him first. Some people didn't know if he was going to get one because he's a male. They even mentioned that, but yes, he is getting a story quest, and they said you should do that first because you can get a head start on your grind for him.
Then they show us the two exclusive Transcendents for Ultimate Esiemo. The first one is Rampaging Mad Bomber, and this one they said that is a close quarter combat, specifically for melee, attached to the shield, probably more damage if you have better shields. I think they even said that you can recover your shields with a specific skill, and in general I think it's more melee oriented. But the second one is more for, we think, for bossing, right, mister?
Yeah, so the second one is Explosion Maestro, and this one, he tested on Wall Crasher, I think, and so it definitely feels like it's more of a single target, huge amounts of damage, boss fighting, Transcendent card, and it's kind of weird because they said the more sticky bombs, which is on your first skill that you have on him, then you use your fourth skill, the more damage you're going to do, and they said up to 50. But it only shoots 4 at a time, and then you can use like your third skill to refresh it and shoot 4 more. You can shoot them individually if you want as well. But to get to 50, I mean, unless you can get, maybe there's a way to get a crazy cooldown or something and put 50 on them. But the more damage, the more sticky bombs you have, the more damage you do, and then you hit your fourth skill, and he kind of does like this jump, fly, roll into him. And they said if you get crits, that lowers that skill cooldown. So at one point in the video, you can see him jump and somersault into him and then he just kind of keeps juggling higher and higher and higher, and I think that's because he's getting crits. So it seems interesting. I think the big one is how many or how fast you can put, you know, more of those first skill sticky bombs on him before you use your fourth one.
Next is the Onslaught mode. We already had this mode in beta last month, but now we have the final version. One of the first new things they added to this mode that we didn't have before is they call it the entry level, and in this you can see, I don't know if you can see everything, but you can see what other people are bringing and change presets before you start the match.
At the beginning, before they dive too much into it, they also said that they're removing that map for the Colossus fight, and I think he's just gonna like spawn on your third map because they said then you have your resources there that you already had bought with the fragments at your disposal, so you don't have to like set it up in that super annoying way in the Void Abyss fight, or not the Void Abyss fight, but the Colossus fight. At the very end, they got rid of that, so that's another change. I think that's good.
They also added a taunt mechanic to the turrets. I don't know if specifically it's both turrets or one of them, because we have two different versions. We have the, I think what is called the Disruption and then the Sentry. But now the enemy should focus on those turrets and hopefully not get into the thing you're trying to protect too fast.
They also talked about MP recovery a little bit, so some of the times it wasn't a problem. It depends on what Descendant I was using, but sometimes MP could be kind of annoying. Didn't feel like there was enough. So they said there's the quick MP recovery applied. And he kind of explained it. I kind of skipped through it. I don't know if that's more of just passive. You get it back passively faster, or if you're going to get it back from like an MP orb, if you're going to get more back. I'm not really sure, but either way, MP's going to be a little bit better.
They're also giving us other ways to get more fragments, maybe extra mini missions where you can destroy things and get more quickly, and new ways to spend them. They specifically mention aerial support.
They didn't say exactly how we're going to get those new fragments, but I would assume it's something like you said, like if we're going to have more of those little side things you can do or whatever. They didn't really get into huge detail there. The new spending's interesting. And then the last thing was the pickup weapon addition. So They said that they'll drop occasionally. I'm assuming maybe certain ones. I don't know. Occasionally they'll drop a weapon that's stronger. So it kind of reminds me of like Sigma Sector. You had that gun that probably nobody ever picks up. Maybe here it'll actually serve a purpose. So it's not like new. It's new to Onslaught. I like the changes. I like these changes, but it reminds me of Sigma Sector.
Before you start each map, you can choose between one of the 3 options that look like cards. They said that you can improve the tier of those options. I don't know if by choosing maybe the same one multiple times. And we are going to have more options to choose from. And for the rewards from Onslaught, you still get Ancestor modules in this mode, but better stage you can clear, you guarantee 2 gold tier options in your Ancestor. So overall, the quality of your Ancestor mod you can get through this new mode is better than if you just run a dungeon that drops you a random Ancestor module.
Yeah, I think they said that you could farm. Excuse me. I think they said that you could farm on a lower wave or whatever. They probably said it. I didn't catch it, but I'm assuming it's not going to necessarily have 2 ultimate tier options on your Ancestors module. Plus, I don't think it's still random, but it's going to be at least gold. And then they did mention one thing here. He kept pointing it out. He kept saying, I couldn't find it for the longest time, but it's in the bottom right corner. There's a little green check mark with a number there. He said that that number basically says whether you can actually do this level. Since it's level 3, for example, they have the picture, it says level 3. If you don't have that number, you can't do that. So I think they're trying to stop people from not being good enough to get in there and farm, have somebody carry them to farm Ancestors modules that have the 2 gold tiers on them. So they said they're going to get into that a little bit more, the required Arche activity. They didn't explain it here. It's a little bit later, but yeah, I think that's good. I see a lot of people complain. I mean, I don't care because we usually we play as 2, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if you play in pubs and you feel like you're carrying people, that's probably a good thing.
And finally, they added weekly challenges to Onslaught mode. They really didn't specify what kind of rewards you will get from these challenges.
And while this is the finished version, they did say that players that, people that have a lot of time in the game kind of feel like, oh, I have everything, I've done everything, I'm kind of bored, there's not anything to do. And Onslaught's more challenging, and they said that these changes they did are good, I think, in my opinion. I think it'll make it more fun. But they also did say this is an ongoing thing. They want to keep adding to it and building on it, I guess. So while it may not be in beta, they're probably going to keep doing things to it in the future.
Next, they show us the Battle Pass, which we thought was kind of weird that they will introduce a Battle Pass this late into the season, but we are getting 3 months of episode 4 for the season 3, so I guess it makes sense. All the skins and stuff you get in this Battle Pass are inspired by Esiemo and his fire abilities, but the main thing we wanted to check and we are curious about is the Battle Pass weapon, Frenzy Locomotive. They really didn't go into a lot of detail with this weapon. They keep talking about how this new ultimate weapon doesn't use ammo, but he overhits.
Yeah, so I think they said that he specifically said single target, and it shoots really slow, and I didn't even realize it had infinite ammo at first, and he had a fire rate core on it for sure, but now I understand why it shoots a little bit slow, because it has infinite ammo. It kind of reminds you of in video games when you have like turrets, you put down these turrets and they overheat and you have to like manage the heat. It's kind of the same concept as that. Now they did say something about like it does, I don't know if I caught that right, but it says something about like more damage on the ground. So
maybe it's not for Serena.
That's so that people couldn't use it with Serena. I don't know, but I swear he said that. And I don't know what it meant.
No, I don't think you're completely wrong because after that, I'm pretty sure they mentioned Esiemo and Ajax as good descendant for this weapon. Was
it Esiemo or Enzo?
I think it was Esiemo.
It's beside the point. It doesn't matter. Either way, I caught that, and that's the first thought was what I was thinking. But it seems interesting. That's a completely different idea behind it. I like that they're trying something new. I'll give it to them. Whether it's good or sucks is beside the point. I think it's an interesting idea.
They also introduced this new weapon, which I can't really pronounce that name. I'm not going to even try. This one is attack
Whirlwind.
Okay, the problem is the first part. Whirlwind. Okay, that one.
Good enough. Good enough.
Good enough, okay. This is a tactical rifle. It has two different ways to shoot, so they compare it with a hammer and anvil. The bottom barrel can shoot these, they keep calling it turbulences. If you basically run over them, your character can jump higher. But if you do it in the enemies, they get slowed down. I don't know if they take damage, but they get slowed down for sure. I remember hearing that.
They take damage. At least they showed they were taking damage for sure.
Okay, yeah. And if you shoot this circle multiple times, you can make it bigger.
This weapon definitely seems interesting to me too. I think the weapons this time are definitely better than they have been. Whether it's good or not is yet to be seen, but it's an interesting concept. Tactical AoE rifle, and just really weird. Those little circles. I mean, they said they had high hopes for this in what's the mode? Onslaught, because he didn't really show us how much it slows them down, but if you put those circles, they kind of compared it to Kingsguard Lance as well. You have to be kind of a certain distance to put it down. This one you don't, but it slows them down, and then it lets your teammates jump higher, which, whatever, it's kind of a cool effect, cool idea. But the big one for me is that it slows them down. How much does it slow them down? Because where we would struggle, just two of us sometimes, is that they're not moving fast, but when there's just two of you, sometimes it gets, at some points, it can be a little bit overwhelming. And then, just curious if it makes noticeable difference or if they kind of just slow down a tiny bit. But still, seems like a cool weapon.
Then they move to this thing they keep calling Subcontent. They added this random event in the action planes. I don't know if it's the same one we already have and they change it, or it's something extra we are doing related to the Hoverbikes. But now we have to mine Axiom in the Axiom planes for additional materials for the Hoverbikes, because now the Hoverbikes are level 20, I think.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that. I guess I care because I want my Hoverbike max, but I just don't like those random events. I just don't like them. I don't know. I like being able to just go do it. However many times I gotta do it, however long I gotta be there, however many days, whatever. Now it's just like you're a slave to being on Axion again, waiting for those random events to happen. So, I don't know. That's not my favorite thing, but it is new.
Next up, they introduced the bounty operations. These ones you can do specific days of the week, but Saturday and Sunday you can access to all of them. As you can see, there's only specific descendants you can bring to specific bounties. So if it says fire, you can only bring fire descendants. You say chill, the chill ones, etc. This content is meant to be for players that are stronger because it's comparable to a stage 2 Onslaught. They also require you to have that Arche activity number to be able to access to it, so it's not really for players that are new to endgame.
So where they talk about what difficulty this is going to be comparable to, they kind of explain what the bounty is. I mean, it's what it sounds like. You track down a fleeing commander. They didn't really say exactly how that's going to happen, but you track him down and kill him.
If you're successful in your bounty, you will get rewards related to that bounty, but if you want to make these rewards better, you need to have a Vulgus Bio data chip. You get this in Onslaught mode and infiltration operations in action planes, and they say if you're lucky. So I don't know what is the percentage of that.
Well, no. I don't know if he said lucky. He said if you get one. And I don't like how he said that. Yeah. He didn't say when you get one, if you get one. So it kind of, he implied a little bit that it's going to be a chance. So I don't know.
This time Valby gets the rebalance. First, they changed her archetype to fusion. For her passive, when she's on water, her movement speed is increased and she recovers shield and MP. Her first skill changes from being a bouncy water ball to be something that tracks the enemies. Clearly more effective than the original version. I liked how the first one was, but more effective for sure to kill enemies and do damage. For her second skill, the big change is that they gave Valby her toe back, so when she uses it, she tows the enemies in the middle before she hits them from the water. But the biggest change is her third skill. She's basically surfing, and when she's surfing, she can attack the enemies with her first skill and her second skill and then come back to the third one.
Valby's a descendant that we use all the time.
Even now, we still use her. She's fallen a little bit behind, like they said, but she's still good. I always thought she was good, but these changes, just for practicality, I think they're better. Being able to be in the third skill and still do this, the first skill was huge, but to be able to do the second skill and then just be right back on it again is also huge. So overall, just the fluidity that she has now, I think, is significantly better with her base kit, obviously, with not having a Transcendent card.
Now we are moving on to the changes made to her Transcendent modules. First, with the Spiral Tidal Wave.
Spiral Tidal Wave, this is kind of weird because we used this module when we fought Gluttony in the beginning, and it's been a really long time since we did, but this is not the same. It says while on water, changes to increase skill critical hit rate and skill critical hit damage, creates Spiral Tidal Wave when dealing skill critical hit damage. That is changed, obviously, but I only used this module for that intercept battle. Like, that's it. So I just remember we had to use this module to like send his little bubbles to him to cool him down with your first skill. So it's definitely different.
Her Transcendent Singing Water transformed her first skill into basically a water gun, and they mentioned using this with strong, unique enemies. So maybe Colossus fights. We had to see.
So single target.
Single target, yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. It looks like a fire hose, like a firefighter hose. Supply moisture. We use this one a lot in the beginning. While on water, increases firearm attack, firearm critical hit rate, and firearm attribute trigger rate. When attacking enemies, grants bubble to self and deals area damage. Does not recover MP. So this is still a really good module, Transcendent module. It's better now, but the big thing is, I think that it's just Valby getting the treatment of I can shoot forever and never have to reload. It's just giving glaze skill to another Descendant. Fine, it's convenient, but I mean, there's more to it than that, but it just feels like that was their way of doing it. It's like they want all the Descendants to be able to just shoot their weapons forever, never have to reload.
The Enduring Legacy and the Voltia are the two ultimate weapons that are getting a rebalance this month. First, the Enduring Legacy, this one, they introduced a thing where if you shoot for a long time, your fire rate goes down, but your damage increases. They also say that the enemies resistant to fires will lower when you're shooting this weapon to them, and in consequence, your fire damage from the weapon will do more damage.
So the Voltia, like, is better. It's better because it, like, if multi-hits happen, the next chain current, that's pretty sure that's what he said, does more damage. So it's most effective when there's lots of balls.
Okay.
Lots of balls.
When there's lots of balls, it's gonna do better with that next chain multi-hit. It's a minor thing, they said. Even he said it was minor, but yeah, I think it's just it gets the balls better.
Stop. And for trigger modules, we have three new ones. The first one, Explosive Aesthetics. This one is the one they were using with Esiemo, and basically you can make your explosions bigger and better. The second one, Infiltration Mechanism, they said that it will work well with the new rebalance rework made to Valby. And the last one, the Current Bonding, this one said it will work well for Ines because she lacks the ability to single target enemies. They also show us Ines' new Transcendent modules. The first one, Plasma Condensation. This one transforms her conductor effect from her passive to something you can stack. And they keep saying how she lacks the ability to basically single target enemies. So this will help with that. So the less enemies, the more damage.
So the second Transcendent module would be Plasma Bullet, and this would be their attempt at giving an S the gun build treatment, where you can shoot and just reload and keep going. It is a little bit different. So first, definitely they said the more MP it's tied to the gun damage, so you'll do more damage with more MP. And her first skill, it kind of revolves around her first skill, so it's similar to the way it is without this Transcendent module, but you get that like kind of similar effect with the gun, with the weapon. And then there's these numbers underneath of it, and he didn't really say. He just said, you see those numbers going down, and then if you use the second and third skill, they go back up. I don't know what those numbers are, if it's just more targets that it's gonna affect, or what that exactly means. But it's interesting. It's a little bit different, but it's still that same treatment that they kind of give. Hers is a little bit different, I'll give you that, but it's still that same treatment where it's just everybody gets that glaze ability, basically.
They also show Plasma Ball, Transcendent. They didn't really talk too much about this one, but you can see they can play how it works, how she have these lightning balls around her and she's dealing damage with those.
It definitely feels more melee.
Yeah, clearly this is a melee close combat build. For some quality of life updates, they have been trying to make the farming a tiny bit less tedious. And one of the things they are doing is changing the Amorphous patterns. So instead of having a specific descendant dispersed into multiple Amorphous patterns, they just have one with all the parts of that descendant. So you just farm for that specific pattern, and that's it. One thing before we finish this video that they didn't really elaborate earlier, but I think is really important because it's something that they are going to apply to in the game in the future, is the Arche activity. This number is based on the level of your descendant, your mastery rank, your loadout, the weapons you're using, the level of those weapons and the modules it has. But it made it sound that you can increase it by doing, for example, like the bounties, stuff like that. This matters if you're playing in pubs, because if you don't have this level required, you can really participate in, for example, the Onslaught mode.
Yeah, if you play private by yourself or with a friend or a couple friends or whatever, that doesn't matter. That Arche activity number won't mean anything. It doesn't mean much to us because we're at the end of the game kind of, but yeah, that's what that is.
And for the Hoverbikes, they mentioned early how they are going to be to level 20, how they are going to have these missions that you can do to get additional materials, blah, 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 blah. But I don't know why they didn't show us this earlier. Now we have a thing called the mod frame. And it appears to be some kind of like skill tree system.
Skill trees for the vehicles?
I don't know if it's a skill tree system or it's just you can maybe unlock it the farther you go into levels, you know? Maybe you have everything unlocked at once, I don't know. I don't know if they are going to make you pick and choose.
Yeah, to save other players' builds and load them anytime.
Oh, so you can just... Okay, that's
out
nice.
of the quality of life improvements section, that is the only thing that I find interesting, and I can see that annoying the heck out of certain people that think that they're the most original and that they created the build and everybody else is copying them. Well, now it's going to be even worse because now it's just going to be a little button you press. Give me your build. Press button. Now I got it. I mean, that's so crazy.
I mean, this might
I don't care at all, but I can see that annoying all kinds of sweaty tryhards.
People didn't like it when you can inspect like the player's builds when somebody like beats something really fast. So this is for
I've
sure
looked at
worse.
those builds before, I won't lie, and all the guys that like have the world records and stuff, y'all use the exact same thing. I mean, exact to the T, exactly the same.
Yeah.
To the skin, same descendant, same hair color, same everything. Everything's the same.
So guys, that was everything for today's video. We actually got more than I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be Esiemo, maybe a new dungeon where to farm him, the Onslaught mod, and Valby rework. But we got some extra trigger modules. We got the bounty operations, which I didn't know about.
I mean, as far as what I'm excited for, Ultimate Esiemo, whatever, I mean, always fun to see an Ultimate Descendant, so that's good. The Onslaught changes, I think, are going to be at least entertain my interest for a little while. The Axiom mining thing, I don't really care. The bounty operations do seem a little interesting. And one thing I didn't mention with the bounty operations is I do think that was I think it was a good way to try to keep the player engaged at least for a little while, because they're specific to, like we talked about, specific to talks or fire or chill, and they're only there certain days of the week or on the weekend. I think that could be good in the long run. Maybe they'll probably have to adjust it, but it could be. Ines's mods are cool. The Valby changes are definitely cool. Both the weapons, the new ultimate weapons, I think seem really good and seem kind of cool. The hoverbike thing is, I don't know, I was going to say kind of annoying because I already farmed for it and I got to do it again, but I guess it gives us something to do. The weapon rebalancing wasn't insane. The Abyss Colossus
whatever, we're just rotating him. And then the quality of life improvements, don't really care. And then they mentioned that amorphous pattern thing that isn't even in this update, I don't think. So overall, yeah, I'd say it's definitely better than I thought. I was really expecting to just hammer down, this sucks, but it's actually better than I thought.
And speaking of the amorphous material force shaping that I was talking about earlier, Jason made it sound that is something that is not going to be in this update, but it's showing here in the table of contents for this update. So I don't know.
He maybe made a mistake with that.
Maybe, or maybe I didn't understand it correctly. I think it's kind of like a pity system, like you were mentioning earlier, where if you open enough amorphous pattern, eventually you can choose, like, I need this thing that I haven't got even once, so yes, I need it now. For me, the things I'm most excited about is, again, Esiemo and Valby, the weapons, like you said, the new ultimate weapons, and I think in general the QLL, like the be able to save the build. I want to see how much.
Not just say quality of life.
Make everything more complicated. I'm really curious to see how the community takes the save the build feature, because I think for us, it's great.
Oh no, I don't think it's going to be an uproar or anything. I don't think they're going to leave their game. It's going to annoy people, I think. But then that's it. I mean, what are you going to do? You're just annoyed for 5 seconds and then move on with your life.
And of course, new skins. We are not showing this here because they're getting a bit skimpy, and we don't want to get demonetized.
No, be honest. We're not doing it because this stupid thing doesn't come on till late for us, and I'm super annoyed how late it is right now.
It is 1:30 in the morning. We are tired, so we are done. Let us know down in the comments how you feel about what is coming, and thank you so much for watching.